have the Baldu who's ready to fight. Oh, almost a steal maybe there. But Darcy did have the punish.
3K gold lead in favor of Team Indonesia right now. There's look at the preemptive move by Darcy, even placing that portal on the brush just to make sure no one is actually there.
And that could have been like a really nice, like, you know, setup trap or something.
Right.
Yena's not really gonna be in a bad spot at all. Like, she's probably one of the strongest DS laners right now. Arguably, could be even stronger than the Omen, but honestly, I just love the Omen. But still, also a really strong pick, can do 2v1s easy and split push to her heart's content if she wanted to.
Oh, I think, okay, I think they're just baiting Team Indonesia, that they're pretending to just getting this Darkslayer, but I think, no, this is not the right time to actually get that one. Probably they might want to pick up a player away from their opponent first before, you know, trying to get that one. Maybe this will be the moment or a chance for Team Player Lab. Looking at the top lane right now, 1v2 situation. Oh, look at that flicker around!
Not enough!
I think it's going to be enough, yes indeed, but Team Thailand will secure a turret onto the top lane. You know what? I like how Team Thailand didn't even, you know, go aggressive on securing a kill onto the Yena. They want to take objective this time.
Yeah, they almost got the Yena here. Darkslayer is right there. Are they gonna be able to reach this in time? Seems like that's gonna be a no. Baldu tried his best. There's the moonfall from this Trixie. But a 3-man Aegis Prison, what's gonna happen?
And there you go. The Wild Prison is making onto effect, but there is a buff onto the side of Team Thailand right now. They're forced to back away. Three members don't want to try going so low. And I think they will be successful in going back from that team fight. Wow.
Well, I would say Thailand is slightly the winner there because they secured the Darkslayer. They have the Drake to push for them.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you can see how incredibly... What the heck was that? Tower there!
And look at that, we have a 2v2 duel onto the bottom lane part of the map, probably, well, thanks to that backup from Crazix. I think, yeah, that was the Hayate, right?
Just what I was saying, you can see how good Indonesia is right now, how incredibly knowledgeable they are in this particular 5v5 matchup. Like, they know that if Thailand expand their cooldowns or something like that, they have to kind of reset a little bit for a switch. Indonesia is harassing, is trying to exploit them in.
Oh, no.
You can just see how good this Baldu is in connecting those dangerous prisons.
I think they wasted their ultimate in there, the ultimate of Pixie on choking away Baldu, and we know that this is a pretty tanky target. Meanwhile, there's a light of hope on the bottom lane part of the map as they try to push the minion waves in there. It's going to be a very pretty intense fight. I think Team Thailand still has a chance on getting a comeback in here, but I do believe as well that Team Indonesia is hungry for a win on this match.
Yeah, again, it's make or break it right now. If you get the win on the series, it's secured silver medal for your country, and nobody wants to not get that for their country. And of course, you know, the shot of gold.
Of course. Well, they got a tier 2 turret on the one lane part of the map. On the side of Team Indonesia, it's 30-minute game time. The lead in terms of kills is on the side of Indonesia, but that's not too much. You got a 3K gold lead as well that Team Thailand still needs to catch up on too.
Positioning-wise, you can just see that they're not really doing as much.
Not yet. They're gonna be farming out.
Did they use the Drake already, or are they just?
Yes.
Oh,
Onto the bottom lane part of the map, the Drake died already. You know, it's the early game times. The first Drake gonna be an easy target. I think the Hayate has to be very careful on the bottom lane part of the map, though. But since he has a vision provided by the rest of the members of Team Thailand, it's gonna be okay.
You can see how well coordinated both teams are. Yeah, you said that the Hayate might have been in a really bad position, but there's like 3 teammates that was super near his vicinity. So if ever, you know, Indonesia decides to, let's dive into the Hayate, we're right here to help you, my friend. You're not going to be alone. This is a team fight battle, and we will keep you, well, holding hand in hand with your teammates.
Right. There is no ultimate available on the Hayate, so I think this is not the right time for them to go on for a clash. Meanwhile, we can see a hit on the Darkslayer by the Darcy on the side of Team Indonesia. I wonder if they will be starting this one out.
for me, this is a little bit uncharacteristic from Indonesia. They never really want to play the slow-paced game. And speaking of which, they're just going to go for the Darksley already.
They're going to go to be the punish. Team Indonesia will secure it. That was an easy objective. And I think this time, is there a minion wave onto the mid? I think Team Thailand instead will just be going for an objective. No, they will be stealing the buff on the side of Team Indonesia instead.
So this is kind of like a little bit of the unfair advantage for the red team because the Darkslayer spawns on their side openly, and then there's like a big wall that, you know, the side of Team Thailand has to go around to try to contest it, which I think puts them in a really bad spot, especially when the Baldum is right there. If you go to a really bad concave, there, Aegis Prison, drop it down, 2 or 3 members already out of the fight, and you can set up some really nice wombo combos for Indonesia, which I think is why they don't really want to force fights on this Darkslayer.
And now all ultimates, all of the players are available. Potential team fight might happen once again. The Dragon's available at the same time, and look at that, a really aggressive forward coming from Suwonchai, the Kha'Zix as well.
Kind of like the same thing here. There could be something big over there.
Look at this! Really good focus fire by Tracery, getting the target on the side of Team Indonesia. 2 members on the side of Thailand getting prisoned by Baldum, and they're not stopping on members of Team Thailand are still all complete. They have a chance on pushing the middle lane turret and at the same time securing the Dragon as well.
They should have let the Baldum check the brush first before trying to go in front of the Dragon. I think a little bit of a mistake on the part of Indonesia there. They tried to go a little bit too fancy with their footwork, but they still do have the Darcy here. But it's overcommitting.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Foxfire right now. Miratama going on a very low health at the moment. Foxfire on the Rage Abyssal Dragon at the same time, and I think this will just reset. They're low on HP. They have to back away, but right now you can see the confusion on both of the teams. Are we gonna go for the Dragon? Are we gonna go for the team fight? We are low HP. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they're... Oh, wow. They feigned trying to go back to the base. Not all of them did that. Elsu and the Baldum stayed, and they get a quick enraged Abyssal Dragon. That's really going to help their case here. In 40 seconds, the Darkslayer will come up again, and the Great Dragon will be claimed, I feel, again, by Indonesia, because positioning for Indonesia is really good right now. Indonesia, or Thailand, have no way to try to get a pickup unless this Kriknak gets creative once again.
Right, just like how creative he was on that Dragon fight a while ago, picking up 2 members on the side of Indonesia. We're gonna like the zoning that the team Thailand is doing on for the Hayate, but Hayate can just, again, he has to be very careful in front. But we're gonna like Suwonchai's support and vision that he provides for the team. But, okay, third Darkslayer is up, and Indonesia is still in a good position at that point.
Checking out the minimap, positioning for Thailand again, just see how much threat that Baldum is. He shows himself at the entrance of the jungle. Nobody wants to go through that. And they just respect it. They're waiting for the Yenna. She's already cleared out the wave into the bottom lane, and this is just perfect timing. Yeah, Thailand cannot get any objective at all, and they have just more than the Darkslayer. Really smart play from Indonesia here.
They're just gonna give it away. Instead, they will just attempt probably to steal the buff once more. However, the Baldum is already positioned to take note. Team Indonesia has a buff in here, so it's gonna be very risky. And we know that it seems like Team Thailand is now scared to go on for, you know, some risky plays once more.
What's going to happen? They have to be a bit sneaky here. What can they really do? For the most part, they just have to wait and see if somebody will try to dive underneath the tower, use that Roxy pull, the tether, what have you, and then try to get that -1 against Indonesia. But Indonesia knows what's up.
I think what are they going to do in here? I want to suggest that Kriknak go and find the Elsu or the Darcy. But for the meantime, I think that's not what they're planning to do. I think the Kriknak wants to put a pressure onto the top lane instead, and the rest of the members of Team Thailand going for a defensive move on base. However, the turret onto the mid will fall down to take note. Indonesia has a Drake at the same time.
On paper, that sounds like a really nice strategy for Thailand here, but they cannot put out of the equation how quickly Indonesia can break down towers. Exactly that.
They're now well fed at this 16 or rather 19-minute game time. onto an end. They're going for a fight for the mid-top, going solo. Look at that. Prison once more. I think that was 2 or 3 targets. Tries to Nazap getting a kill onto the backside. However, it seems like that won't be enough. One member gonna pull down once more into the side of the destination. Look at that ultimate coming off from the Hayate as well. Are they gonna clear this one out? Elsu is still all alive.
And almost dimensional rift there from the Darcy to put him back onto the board. Another kill, maybe, perhaps. Nice! Snipe. I thought it was gonna kill, but this wave should be enough to get that mid-tier 3. Oh no, never mind. It's gonna be the Roxy once again into the front line. We'll have to force them out, but you already see, even if Indonesia lose 3 members, that is fine because Thailand cannot get an objective right now. Still, the respawn timers on Darkslayer and Dragon, plus they have no waves that are pushing onto the side of Indonesia, and that means that they cannot break any tier 1, tier 2, or even tier 3 towers as of this moment.
Elsu was like saying, don't go near me, I'm gonna kill you. But fortunately enough, Hayate had some defensive items on his kit, and that, paid off really well. Meanwhile, onto the Bombing Park match, might just be a potential 3v1 situation.
Did the Roxy spot that? Did China Sap didn't spot that? No. Okay.
I guess so.
Abyssal Dragon though.
Yeah, they know they're not gonna go for Abyssal Dragon since Indonesia's already there, and I think while Team Indonesia is on the spot, I think this is a good time for Thailand to steal the Dark Slayer. However, Indonesia's walking towards that objective already, and a potential team fight might happen once more.
Elsu is low HP here. Yeah, they're bringing him back to base. I don't think Thailand has that information that Elsu is low, so they're not really forcing anything at all. So has to come back and heal up a little bit and then join his teammates. So right now, Thailand, this is kind of like, I feel like one of the things that make Thailand a strong yet easy to break region is that, or country rather, is that I feel like their playstyle is more accustomed to playing the slow methodical game.
Well, do take note though, I think this is the 4th Dark Slayer that we've taken in the game, and as the late game comes, this Dark Slayer becomes stronger in terms of pushing, can deal more damage onto turrets. So I wonder if this is going to be the last push for Team Indonesia, or will Team Thailand still be able to make a defense onto their base?
I feel like Thailand can still make that defense because even though they don't have the strongest team fight comp, at least comparing it to Indonesia, they have a really nice turtle comp with that Roxy as well as the Grixie. They can clear out the waves at least.
Okay, they got a buff in here. They have to be very mindful on what to clear and which one to target.
Oh man, and Drake though.
Yeah, it's gonna be hitting the base anytime soon.
They have to clear it out.
Have to clear it out. Hayate will definitely help clear that out. But the question is, will he have the position that he needs?
That's going to be a difficult thing to say. He's easily countered the Knife Blitz. Alright, they're already immediately starting, but that is the Yena into the front line. Catching it on in with the Nature's Prison.
Ultimate coming up from the Baldum, and the Grixie going for an ultimate fight as well. Kunai blitzed by the Hayate. Ultimate coming up from the Darcy at the same time. A lot of players went down onto the side of Team Indonesia. They have to back away. Oh, look at that.
Oh lordy, that is just unfortunate a little bit. I feel that was a correct knife, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there it is. An ultimate for the Elsu. Even though that was a great team fight from Thailand, at the end of the day, they have no towers remaining, and Nexus is in the sight, in the range.
Super minions will come
of
in
Indonesia.
From the side of Team Indonesia. This is going to be a harder defense on the side of Team Thailand as well. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we have a 2v1 situation ongoing. Taitanasa in here going so low. Oh, we'll be able to back away. Oh, that wasted ultimate coming out from the Grixie at the same time.
Only strong against physical damage, but magic damage from the Darcy is overwhelming. You can see it already. Taitanasa does not have much to counter that in that department, so he can only absorb the damage and hope that his HP is enough to keep him, well, healthy in the fights.
Oh, 5th Dark Slayer of the game. This, I think, so far in the totality of matches that we've seen for Arena of Valor here in SEA Games, this is the longest game so far.
definitely. I feel like the more we dive deeper into the brackets, the more that we'll see these teams be evenly matched. But you can see that there's a bit of a gap, at least for game one, in terms of how Indonesia and Thailand plays. And honestly, I thought that Thailand would have the bigger or the better performance here, but Indonesia is definitely proving me wrong.
And look how well protected the middle lane terrace of Indonesia is right now. They're gonna go for a risky play here, trying to steal. Unfortunately for Team Thailand, they won't be able. Chaisen Nasa going onto the back line, protecting the rest of the members. One member on the side of Team Indonesia will fall down. That was the Yena. I think Thailand here got a good position, but going on for the middle lane, unfortunately, the snipe from the Yeltsin missed out.
And Raging Pistol Dragon is up there, a full 5-man comp team, if I'm not mistaken here, and Thailand will be able to get a big objective finally. After all that kerfuffle, their damage output is already showing with the Krignak, with the Hayate, but still they respect Indonesia.
Still gonna be a dangerous time for Team Thailand to go for this Abyssal Dragon. 4 members on the side of Indonesia still all alive. Do take note, by the way, the 10 timers on this match is going so high in terms of countdown as well. Finally, they will secure that Abyssal Dragon to go for the tip fight to fall them. It's gonna fall down, but I think a resurrection is available onto the back line here. The members of Indonesia gonna fall back. Oh, look at what Baldum is doing right now. He is still alive because of the item that he has. And there you go. Doing a minion wave talking about playing Banner now.
They're getting all these objectives, but the thing is, they can't leave their base for long because of how the minions, the super minions will just be pushing onto the lanes. Now this puts Thailand into a really weird spot. They can bring as many towers as they want, but they need to clear out the members of Indonesia. But the thing is, Indonesia can take a cheeky play and just, I feel like they can just go for a backdoor if Thailand is not
but they
aware of
don't
it.
have any support right now. It's going to be very risky. They're going to go all in focus fire on the tier 2 turn. Ultimate, however, they lost a minion wave. And it's a fast clear wave on the side of Team Indonesia as well, having the Darcy on their side.
They're finally getting a little bit of steam back here. For you who are fans of Thailand, this Team Thailand here, well, at least give your praise because they have gone through hell and high water just to keep themselves afloat. They're looking pretty mighty strong. And right now, Indonesia is losing a little bit of steam. They're not into that late game, or they're not into the early game, mid game anymore. This is kind of like the late game where hyper carries reign supreme. And that is, of course, the Hayate, as well as maybe you can call it Krignak because he's a super assassin.
Super assassin indeed. Do take note though, there's no resurrection item on Baldum already, so it's gonna be very risky if the Baldum mispositions himself again. I think what we saw a while ago, Thailand did not even care if they were actually targeting the Baldum. They spent all of their resources and skills on that Baldum alone.
Oh, they're so fast. Oh, this could be bad.
Oh, there is ultimate coming out from the Crixie on the back line of Team Thailand. Bloodbath by Hayate at the same time. However, Darcy will secure a kill, double kill onto the Hayate. They're trying to put more pressure. Look at the play coming out from the Krizik. Krizik Suwata is doing all the zones that he can provide for Team Thailand. They went back alive. They're not stopping. Baldum in here still trying to tag away of the damage of
They overcommitted! They overcommitted! They're gonna be able to get cleared out onto Thailand! This is not good! Chaisen Nasa is the last man standing! And look at this! Gia Hartanto is right on the heels, the precipice. They still have the Raz, they still have the Darcy, and there is the minions!
The minion waves is gonna end the game! Indonesia will take the first win of this best of 3 series.
What a cluster! Okay.
Wow.
The reason why Thailand was forcing that already because they knew that they stayed too long out of their base. So it's either make or break. Break the top tier 3, go straight to the Nexus, or it's all over. And Indonesia, knowing this, was like, let's wait, and we'll see. Just check out these highlights, but amazing rest of mind from Indonesia. They knew that they only had to do was wait for the minion wave to be the minion wave.
Wow, and it happened. These are certain minions that are really hard to kill. I think what Team Thailand could have done first before going for an all-in team fight onto the top lane was to balance the flow of the minion race on all of the lanes. And, you know, I think that was the risky play that they have sacrificed onto the top lane by just going all in and in.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought that Thailand already won because the thing is, Indonesia made a huge mistake when they didn't disengage already when Kha'Zix did the movement speed boost for his team. When everybody was just about to crash in on that one part of the jungle, they didn't back away and they lost so many members. But Indonesia, the remaining players from their team, kept their composure right here. They cleared up so many players already, but they just played around their tower. They forced Thailand to really make for their money, and the Winion wave was right there to pick up the next, explodes, and Indonesia claimed game one.
Wow, Winion waves on the side of Team Indonesia did really pay off, and they're proving us that execution can definitely win the game as long as they execute it so well. And I think there were some misplays at the same time on the side of Team Thailand. They got a lot of early secure on the jungles. They did steal even the small monster on the side of the jungle camp of Team Indonesia, but again, they weren't able to utilize it that much.
Yeah, again, in the basis of it, it's the investments that you put, especially removing those tier 3 towers. 3 tier 3 towers really gave an edge for Indonesia. They didn't have to fear like, okay, if we didn't break any of these tier 3 towers, we would be in a heap of a mess right now. But because we did, they don't have any lane equilibrium here. It's always in our side, and that concludes, of course, game one. Good strategy from Indonesia, and Thailand was so close to winning, but I think we'll see them after the break here.
Right, and that was it. We're just going to go on to a short break. Once again, we were your shoutcasters. I'm Kaysaya.
And I'm Asarai, so don't go anywhere. The 30th Southeast Asia Games for the Arena of Valor Discipline will be back after a quick one.
ชื่อชานนท์เกตการครับเรียนอยู่ที่โรงเรียนบางประกอบวิทยาคมอยู่ทีม Workpoint Fighting Fit ครับการแบ่งเวลาครับตอนที่เราเรียนเราก็ต้องตั้งใจเรียนครับพอหลังจากเรียนเสร็จปุ๊บก็เป็นช่วงประมาณ20 ทุ่มถึงเที่ยงคืนแล้วก็มาซ้อมทีมตอนแรกที่เล่นครับเล่นกับเพื่อนสนุกแล้วก็เล่นไปเรื่อยๆก็ทำทีมแข่งกับเพื่อนว่าชวนกันทำทีมแข่งแรกน่าจะแข่งที่ Impact ครับเมืองทองเป็นรายการของกระทรวงดิจิทัลแพ้ตั้งแต่รอบ60 ทีมเวลาที่แพ้เรียนรู้ข้อผิดพลาดจากเกมที่แพ้ครับแล้วก็มาพัฒนาต่อไปครับถ้าเราเล่นเก่งมากๆเลยเราก็สามารถมีสังกัดหรือว่ามีสปอนเซอร์มาสนับสนุนเราเป็นทีมเขาก็จะให้รายได้เราก่อนวันที่มาแข่งครับเราก็ซ้อมกันแต่ว่าซ้อมไม่เยอะเน้นพูดคุยกันภายในทีมครับแลกเปลี่ยนความคิดกันการเล่น RV เป็นการเล่นเป็นทีมใช้ทีมเวิร์คใช้การวางแผนก็ต้องสื่อสารกับคนในทีมผมก็เคยผิดใจกับเพื่อนในเกมครับแต่พอหลังจากจบเกมเราก็คุยกันได้ครับจบเกมแล้วก็เป็นเพื่อนกันเหมือนเดิมผมคิดว่าอายุมันไม่มีผลครับมันสู้กันได้หมดครับ
esports has grown over the past couple of years to multi-million-dollar tournaments. It's the primary form of entertainment for the youth and millennials. When we first caught wind of the SEA Games, we realized that it was missing a major component and what we felt should be esports. We flew across to Philippines. We met up with Senator Cayetano and the rest of FISOC, and the rest is history. Esports, for the first time ever, is a medal sport in a major sporting event.
This is the first time esports is going to be included in the SEA Games. It's a huge thing. Like, we've been waiting for this for quite a long time, actually.
It really shows how far esports has come. It's crazy to be on par with conventional sports.
I think esports today, this past year has been a turning point for the industry, and we're very proud to be part of this. The future of esports, I would say, limitless and exciting. I'm just really passionate. I think there's a huge future in this, and we want to be part of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are making history. To be the first medal esports event in the world is a great promise.
Right now, we are having our the Southeast Asian Game Esport Test event. We did this so that we can conduct a simulation of what will happen on the actual SEA Games. So we're testing out everything in terms of the internet, the infrastructure, the league ops, the PCs, the networking, and also the streaming that will be used in the actual SEA Games.
Everyone's here to make sure that we have a really, really good presentation of esports come the Southeast Asian Games in December. Now, that's very important for esports because when we show them how successful we are in organizing this, we believe there will be more acceptance of esports, which would mean that even parents would understand that, hey, maybe there's a future, there's something after. We want a lot of young people to have brighter and bolder dreams. It's a new world, and who knows what comes next.
If any game deserves to be an esports title, it's got to be StarCraft 2. It's strategically speaking very in-depth. There's a lot of strategies, a lot of things you can do. Some people call it like a chess game on steroids. The StarCraft 2 community is quite compact, so you kind of know everyone. The other top 2 players are usually from the Philippines and Vietnam, so they've been always consistently doing well in the other tournaments as well. I'm going to just do the same thing I've always done to prepare for tournaments, study a lot, practice a lot, and then just hope for the best.
So yun, finish ko yung pagiging Dota 2. Lahat ginawa ko para maging professional player. Siguro yung Dota kasi sa akin, sobrang importante kasi sa akin yun. Kung ako, sasabihin ko sa sarili ko na yung Dota is para siyang pagkain sa akin. Kumbaga, pag wala yung Dota, hindi ko mabubuhay yung sarili ko.
Jika kita dapat memenangkan turnamen ini, kita tentunya akan mendapatkan perhatian lebih dari tim-tim tier 1 Dota di dunia. Dan ini sangatlah bagus untuk karir-karir kita, player-player Dota Indonesia.
When I started playing was Tekken 3 and I was like 7 years old back then. 18 years later, fast forward, it's actually selected as one of the games for SEA Games. I never thought that I would be given this opportunity to play in front of thousands and thousands of people.
The bootcamp really helped me get ready for the Southeast Asian Games 2019 because we had JDCR, which is one of the best Tekken players in the world, to train with us.
I was able to play with JDCR earlier. He told me a lot of tips and tricks and some things that I should not do. I'll take it as a lesson from him because he's obviously one of the best Tekken players in the world.
I got a opportunity to teach maybe new generation, young players. They got improved a lot. I'm happy to see that.
KO. I think we're going to see some pretty exciting gameplay, and I'm looking forward to a really high level of competition.
There's a misconception of people thinking that esports is just playing games. It's actually not that simple. There's actually a lot of hard work to it. You have to grind hours, you have to practice over and over again. You have to spend a lot of time.
I feel nervous because I have never traveled overseas for a gaming tournament before. So this will be challenging, but also will be a good experience for me. I will practice really hard for this, and I want to perform and win the whole tournament.
Siguro sa tingin ko sa sarili ko, confident naman ako, pero hindi pa rin sapat yun na kailangan ko pahigitan yung mga ibang player na katulad ko. Nilipad kami ng Singapore para lang mag-training sa i-coach din ng mga international na player.
These guys are the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Lewis Hamiltons, if you were, of the esports world.
I still can't believe I get to actually see them in person. We are making history because we're bringing all 5 different teams to really spar and be trained.
Pretty rigorous. It's pretty intensive.
An event like this is something really quite special. These guys are the elite, when it comes to esports.
I've been a big fan of Neurogenesis since 5 years ago, and I was absolutely delighted that they managed to make it to this year's internationals. They're one of the top 5 teams in the world. I'm pretty excited for them to be in Singapore.
We've been queuing here for a couple of hours already. I'm really excited to meet them. I just want to come now and just take a look at their face in real life.
DG, we love you!
These guys are the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Lewis Hamiltons, if you were, of the esports world.
Neurogenesis is one of the top-tier teams in the world, and they made millions of dollars.
I think 16 years old and already earned $1 million when it comes to playing games is absolutely astonishing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 30th Southeast Asian Games here in the Philippines. My name is Asarai, one hell of a beast, and joining with me right now is Kaisai. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind a little bit here because that was a hectic back and forth late game for game number 1.
Yeah, I think it went up to about 20 minutes.
Yeah, 25?
Yeah, 25 even, and that was a pretty intense match. And I'm hearing something. I guess we're not going to be prolonging this intro anymore as we will be heading on to the drafting phase of our Game 2 in a few seconds from now. It is a 1-point score already. Going on to the side of Team Indonesia, I wonder what Team Thailand is going to do on their drafting this time, or is it really about the execution?
I feel like Thailand will be out for blood here. I feel like that wasn't even the extent of their performance. I felt like Indonesia was able to sneak one in and just never let go. But here, let's check out how he rolled. Zheng will be the first pick. Thailand has the option to bring out the Volcat in this rotation, maybe a jungler as well, because we've seen the Volcat do spectacular things in the DS lane.
Thailand's favorite pick, Hayate, was used already a while ago from our Game 1, and their third most favorite, Zenial, was taken away by Team Indonesia. I wonder what is going to be the option this one. Whenever you have the first 2 pick that you can secure, it's also really good to either get a duo combo or get the best pick that you can.
Yeah, usually it's going to be the best pick with possibly a combo.
Yeah.
And,
oh, there you go. Their second most favorite pick. Fennec will be secured. And Omen in here going for their side laner.
So, oddly enough, they did not go for the Volcat. But of course, again, it's not the be-all, end-all. Like, if you get the Polecat, it's not going to be a sure win. I do, again, like the Fennec thing. Like, Fennec is probably one of my favorite heroes in Arena of Valor because he's just incredibly strong. Yes, not really most of the team fights. He's good in the late game, but the thing that he does the most is he's a tempo ADC. If you're able to create some openings from him, he will break down objectives easily because of his passive or first skill. I think it's the passive, but in any case, he's dubbed as the tower breaker.
Oh yeah, tower breaker. Apart from that, really good in jungling too. One of the ADC junglers that can really clear the jungle very, very fast and can position himself onto lanes for potential ganks. Meanwhile, I think we're going to be liking what we're going to be seeing on the DS lane because we have an Omen as well as a Kilgrove that might tussle early game time, and we know that these two heroes are really good in terms of pushing.
And imagine this, Kilgroth is basically nigh unstoppable at the moment. I would argue to say that he's probably one of the most annoying heroes to go against because of his Gore Lord ultimate. Activate it, you get yourself, that couple of seconds where you're going to be immune to crowd control. That makes it so easy to bypass the CCs of the Omen and the Fennec, and he's so tanky to boot as well. You basically build him not as a carry, but as a bruiser who can deal damage, who can lifesteal, and who can have so much HP that you have to focus him down before you can take him out.
Well, meanwhile, though, instead of picking the Volcat for them on the side of Team Thailand, seems like they want to ban this one out, and there you go. They have decided, indeed, on banning out the Volcat since there's no jungler yet on the side of Team Indonesia. What are the options for Team Indonesia in here? They can no longer pick the Darcy. They can no longer pick the Volcat because it got banned already.
They still have the option to maybe go for the Killen. That is a really strong pick for them if they want, but of course we're still in that banning phase, so they're going to remove as many junglers as possible. Yeah, there is already the Litness out there. That will really solidify the damage output here for Indonesia. But of course, it's not going to be up on the table. Now, last ban here for Indonesia, Thailand still needs the mid lane as well as the support. Maybe they're going to go for another support, maybe a Safera, maybe a Nanette, just because there's a bit more dive potential for Indonesia, and they need to remove the peels of Thailand to make the Kilgroth and the Zenial work out.
I'm thinking about the jungler that Indonesia might pick in here. Will this be a Kriknak? Those are at least the remaining options, at least on the current meta right now. The Team Indonesia might pick. Meanwhile, a ban on the Thane in here, just like what you have mentioned a while ago. They have to choose on which role to ban next. What is lacking on the side of Team Thailand? And there you go, they have decided. Thane will be banned out.
Okay. I honestly just didn't think about the Thane. He's actually the probably go-to support if you need displacement and protection. Especially that the Fennec really needs something along those lines. Here's another thing. Indonesia has the possibility to get a Kriknak on their side if this isn't a Kilgroth DS lane or jungler. So
yeah, there's a possibility on that, but there's no more banning on the side of Team Thailand at the moment. And they got the Marauder ready for the jungle, so I think they're just gonna let or give away the Kriknak in case Indonesia will offer that. For the meantime, Ormar, which are really good passive as well, those stuns that just connect passively. I think it's not really that really good, but it's okay. It's okay. Once he got the position, especially onto Hayate, to stop the Hayate with the Kunai Blitz, it could work out. It could work out, especially with a Fennec free hitting on the backline.
Exactly. It's a pretty sweet combo. And mind you this could be a mid lane Diao Chan. Because if you think about it, lots of front line for Indonesia. They got Ormar for a little bit of crowd control. They can supplement that if they want to with the Diao Chan, because I feel like Thailand already has a good chunk of damage with the Morat as well as the Fennec, but that's just me. But I feel like it could work, or maybe even the Ignis.
Whoa, instead!
Especially if the Illumia is out for Indonesia, because they need something to catch out this Illumia.
I think this is the first time we're going to be seeing Illumia on, in SEA Games from the group stages.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's kind of surprising. It is not a Kriknak, it is not the Diao Chan that we have mentioned a while ago, but instead Zill for the jungle. I think the Zill doesn't really want get caught up on the crowd controls that the Omen might throw out, on the Ormar might throw out. So he can just go all in and then go out for safety. And Illumia, global support. They got Zenial and Illumia having that global abilities available on the side of Team Indonesia.
And that Illumia ultimate will definitely hurt the case of Thailand. Now, I was talking about the Diao Chen. That was more for the team fight presence of Thailand, but they need something along the pick-up presence. And Liliana is a really good mid laner for just that particular factor. And Illumia isn't really a mid laner that's known for her mobility, so she's very easy picking to the case of the Liliana Murad connection. It's going to be very difficult to try to counter that out, but at least this kind of balances the composition of Thailand. Still though, right now, game number 2 draft finishing, I don't know who has the better composition. It seems
same.
Well built.
For both of the teams, right?
Yeah.
And I like the last decision of Team Thailand in there. Instead of going for a Diao Chan, they went on for a Liliana. They definitely need a hero that has a higher mobility, because, you know, they can't just be locked in by the Illumia ultimate. Right, so yeah, I think that was a good decision. They ended up with a Liliana.
And I mean, that Liliana's gonna happen. Can hear the countdown into the start of the field.
Right.
So, what do you think?
Well, what do I
you
think?
Yeah.
Me, just like what you have mentioned, it's hard to predict right now. I think we're just gonna take a look at the execution early game time, and then from there we can say on how it might transition. But you know what? Even if you got the early lead, we can say that, okay, there's a sure win on this team, because a lot of things can happen. Like what we seen a while ago from game 1, you know, we thought that, okay, there's a good early game on the side of Team Thailand, but in the end, Indonesia was able to make a comeback by them securing a lot of objectives, the Abyssal Dragon, and, you know, it's like a traditional sport.
Yeah.
Badminton throwing.
Yeah, the back and forth, exactly. So, now, as we finish game 1, let's just look at what the weaknesses are for both of our teams for game 1. So, the overwhelmingly obvious thing was that Thailand had a really difficult time trying to get objectives at the very start, maybe because of their composition or because
I think
their timing.
no, Thailand did actually did a good job in going for early objectives.
Oh, sorry, yeah, early objectives.
The problem there was they weren't able to utilize it.
Okay, yeah. True enough. So that means that, you know, they aren't able to use it properly. Indonesia, on the other hand, their late game wasn't really as spectacular, but I feel like that was just them, you know, kind of saying that we could just fail these team fights, but as long as we can keep the lane equilibrium to our favor, we can make it happen. But we'll see how it goes. Here it is, guys. Game number 2. Team Indonesia versus Team Thailand. Let your voices be heard. Let yourselves roar. Even if you're just watching on your PCs, your mobile devices, it's fine.
On
we
your TV
don't
as
care.
well.
Or your TV as well. We don't really care as long as you show your support. You know, games in the Southeast Asia games.
Well, from
how about that?
Korean Asarai, we've seen that Murad did actually do a good job on clearing the or rather the jungle compared to what Zale has performed. Will this say something on what Indonesia might get into? But surprisingly, they have a little bit of gold lead advantage right now compared to what Thailand has.
Slightly, at least.
Yeah.
Fennec shouldn't really win this duel against Hayate because Hayate can throw out the kunais there. Yeah, easy kind of trade tool just to make it, you know, much good for them. Here's one thing that I really like about the composition of Indonesia. You said that, you know, there's the Kilgra Zenial combo. We don't really talk about much about the Zil Zenial combo, where Zil activates that Tempest, Zenial comes in with that Splendor, and you basically have a delivery
What just happened? Look at the sun comes out from the Zenial and Tana. These Tic-Tac will fall down. 1 kill, gonna go first blood on the side of Team Indonesia, and they have a chance to secure the Spirit Sentinel as well.
A lot more teams really forcing themselves to go deep in the jungle of the enemy territory just to try and secure that Spirit Sentinel, because it just gives a bit more in terms of resources, which works out well. You can already see a slight gap that is being created here by Indonesia.
Look at that. Okay, just a little bit poked by Tai Chaisiri on the bottom lane part of the map. Are they gonna go for of the Fuse. Meanwhile, onto the top lane, a 1v1 ongoing against Kilgore as well as the Omen right now. And they're just gonna show off how powerful they are. But the bottom lane, the jungle come right now. They will not go all in for the Zeal.
Good damage onto the tower though. Here comes the Sil. Okay. Tempest activated. Cataclysm to follow up. They're very low. Hayate's coming here onto the side. And Sil spawning out the Liliana. Get on out of here. Nobody knocked down, but there is a lot of recalls we're seeing here. Maybe a bottom tier 1 destroyed. Could be possible because there's 3 members of Indonesia in the bottom.
It looks like they're going to go all in right now. Focus fire on the turret at the same time by Hayate. However, he lacks the minion waves. No kills on that one. Really good timing on the ultimate coming out from the Zenial as well.
Walking tall activated by the Orbar. The stun was there to keep him locked down. Fennec though is actually going to be in the front.
Position right now, but it's all ultimate used to back away, and there is a really aggressive move, but the Hayate unfortunately not yet enough to get a kill on to, oh look at that teleport.
He's not going to be able to do it. Orbar comes right in here. Stun to connect. Does he have the walking tall? There's like 3-4 people from Thailand looking to invade, but Fennec, you can just see how much of a madman it really is.
Right. Meanwhile, on the jungle top of Team Thailand right now, 2v1 actually is happening. Moving around. Really good jump out by the Orbar. Or was that the Omen?
The Omen.
The Omen, yeah.
I mean, this is, you're thinking like Thailand is working so well. They're doing a lot of things right, but it's always Indonesia starting off these fights and forcing Thailand to use their flickers, to use their ultimate defensively. And look at that again, Indonesia. They looked a little bit shaky in terms of objectives game 1, but the second game is looking mighty fine for them right now.
Well, the first time is coming from Murad will just be enough to get a kill on the Illumia. Meanwhile, it's still fight ongoing right now. So Wi-Fi going for an all-in. Mulyat on the bad position right now. Look at the regeneration of HP in there. The fight is ongoing on the back line. Hayate will go for the good night, please. Really good time in there to stop by Keskar. However, that won't be enough. He will still die onto the hands of the Hayate.
Oh, Hayate. Oh, no. Oh, spin a win. Winter King. Double kill from the Orbar. No defense from this guy. Cataclysm will connect on onto the Liliana, but nothing has already done. The dust has settled, and Thailand come out victorious in that skirmish.
Wow. Look at that pace in terms of going for the lead onto the gold right now. Do take note that the Evil Dragon is available at the same time. In the lane, will there be a fight ongoing? Really good show in here. However, in here, Dewey going so low. Will it fall down? It looks like yes, here will take the Nasa for security kill. Omen trying to back away. That will just be enough. And there you go onto the top lane. Though looks like we have an objective being taken by Thailand in there.
A blue team tower has been destroyed.
It's already showing its power. 3-2 split. You get yourself the Fennec. He can basically destroy towers super easy. And then you can have the pick off with the Liliana, with that Murad, and the Omen. Omen just makes the Illumia worthless because Illumia does not have mobility and safety. He's basically sitting down once the Omen ultimate locks her down.
See, in here, we know that Kilgroth is really good in terms of pushing, but apparently he lost onto the Omen on the top lane. Meanwhile, onto the main part of the map, we have a situation happening. Taisiri finds the right position, going for an all-in in here. Ultimate coming out from the Zenial to heal the rest of the members of Team Indonesia, and there will not yet stop. Really good going in here by the Zenial. He will still be able to survive. And this is the problem, Azurai in here. When you go off, in here, Omen no actually will secure a turret at the same time.
They're re-engaging here. Maybe just the knockout from the Zenial, maybe for support. Murad can add this move up, activates the temporal turbulence right then and there. And yeah, there it is, the grunty boss of the field of Arena Valor. It's the Dark Slayer, already spawned into the battlefield.
Well, a while ago we were talking during the drafting phase, the Omen versus the Kilgroth right now. The advantage definitely of the Omen is the ultimate wherein he can lock in his target. And at the same time, Kilgroth and Omen is good at pushing. And we actually can see with the situation in the top lane that Kilgroth wasn't able to do anything in terms of pushing. I think they're going to
probably do that. Oh,
They're still having a tussle in the top lane, but we're not seeing it right now in the camera. But in the middle lane, poking each other out. A dash out by the Sentinel as well. They really want to push the turret out. This is the good when you have the Fennec. Really good in terms of pushing. He deals damage. The ability deals damage on the structures.
Yeah, hidden weapons is such a great tool to pass to the Fennec to keep or to make easy work of these towers. And you can see already that Thailand, they're basically laying waste to the jungle that is once Indonesia's possession. Now, never mind that.
Available right now. Ultimate used to actually deal damage onto this turret right now. An initiation coming up from the center. However, it looks like Kill will just fall down. There you go, a kill secured by the Fennec. An exchange of kills right now. For Chai Siri will kill. This still on the side of Team Indonesia, and Omen just working on the side lanes, the middle lane as well, and will go. Oh, what's that?
Oh, he's gonna be able to use that Dark Embrace. I just lost someone down. Yeah, you have to kill off into the front line, but you can't really deal enough damage to make it possible. Stun to connect with the Liliana. That was so close for comfort. Cataclysm activated here, but that is only passively used. Nothing of a big impact. And you can already see that Thailand are making it work. 9 minutes into the game, and Indonesia are already putting their back against the wall.
The tussle on the bottom lane. Dangerous position right now is... Oh, but the Sentinel went for a background, killing the Omen at the same time. So much time will fall down as well. Double kill will go to the Sentinel. And they're not just stopping in here onto the lane part of the map. They want to put the pressure on the Mirage. Mirage getting thrown. Oh, really jerked out, but the wrong position right now to secure a kill. Oh, look at the damage from the Sentinel. Meanwhile, on the other part of the map, you can see the Fennec secure a kill.
You thought that Poseidon was king of the sea? Well, let's talk about my other friend here called Hildrun. Somebody actually shuts him down, but that was before, you know, they've done a good chunk of damage. They've punished the misposition of Thailand there, but definitely Thailand still in the driver's seat here with Fennec into the forefront. Oh, he's going to take a little bit of damage there, but is still alive. And here comes the Murad chasing on to...
Oh, the revenge! The revenge! He got killed a while ago by the Sentinel, and that was the revenge successfully done. Meanwhile, a position has been taken by Team Thailand here. The Dark Slayer being well contested. Looks like Indonesia will not be able to take a risky play on trying to even steal that one. Plus, look at that, the straight on the top lane will fall down anytime soon.
A blue team tower
They should have their teammate in about 10 seconds, I believe. Yeah, they're going to be able to stop this, but the Dark Slayer is adamantly in the hands of Thailand, and they basically kind of, you know, forced Indonesia in their own base. And here's another thing. If you're looking at it, there's no Tier 1 towers destroyed by Indonesia. That is not a good marker at all.
Not really a good marker for Team Indonesia. They don't really have a position in the map right now. It seems like Thailand wants to own the whole Antares battlefield.
Easy takes.
But as we can see in the minimap right now, Indonesia trying to take a chance onto the top lane. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane part of the map, look at that! The Sentinel's having a hard time to back away, and they will just fall down!
Once again, this position is not going to reign supreme here. On the other side, finally the KG gets top Tier 1, but here is Thailand knocking into the base. They have to break this up 4 versus 5, and this is not looking good.
This is definitely not looking good for Team Indonesia right now. Let's lock this fire onto the base. Well, meanwhile, a lot of base players are going solo onto the side of Team Indonesia. They get kills and they get the base. It is 1-1 score for our game 2.
A valiant effort for Indonesia to stop that push, but it was only a matter of time before Thailand laid waste, claimed victory to the land in game number 2, which means game number 3 is going to go underway later on.
Really intense match. And I think this time, well, we didn't went up onto a late game. And here we can see the game highlights. Team Thailand did a really good showing in here on really saying that we can dominate this match. It's not going to be the first game that we've seen a while ago. And what do they do? What do they do well in here?
For Thailand,
for Thailand.
It's just the ability to get the pickoffs. Because the thing with Indonesia's comp here is that it doesn't have the amount of crowd controls the same as Thailand. Yes, they have a little bit of fighting potential, fighting damage, whatever you want to call it, but it's easily negated by how quick Thailand is to disengage, and there's so